Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something pretty fundamental, really, to how we all operate language. And right alongside it, this idea that gets debated a lot, fluency.
Yeah, what is fluency really?
Exactly. You've been curious, and honestly, so have we, about what it truly means to, know and use a language well, effectively.
So we've done the digging. We've looked at, well, a whole range of stuff.
Yeah, tracing the word language itself, like where did it even come from, and then exploring all these different takes on fluency.
From dictionaries, language learners, the experts,
Yeah.
trying to piece it all together.
Our goal really is to unpack these ideas, maybe get a few aha moments, and maybe make you rethink things a bit.
Absolutely. It's a journey from like ancient words right up to today's debates.
Okay, let's jump right in then. The word language. Where does that story start?
Okay, so it goes back late 13th century. Old French, the word was language.
Language. Okay.
And what's really interesting is what it meant. Sure, it meant words, conversation, talk.
The usual stuff you'd expect.
Right. But it also meant a tribe, people, nation.
Whoa, hang on. So language wasn't just about talking. It was tied up with identity, with belonging to a group.
Right from the get-go. It was intrinsically linked to community,
Yeah.
who you were.
That's actually quite profound, isn't it?
It is. And that old French word language, it came from vulgar Latin, linguaticum,
Linguica.
which in turn stemmed from the classical Latin lingua.
Lingua. I know that one. Tongue. Right.
Exactly. It meant tongue, but it also meant speech and language.
So the physical thing, the tongue, became the word for the whole system.
Huh. Pretty direct link. Yeah. And, there's that little quirk in the English spelling, the U.
In language, yeah. What's with that?
That was an Anglo-French thing added later. Apparently it wasn't originally pronounced, just kind of stuck around.
A silent stowaway in the word. I like it.
Yeah.
So, okay, around 1300, the meaning started shifting a bit.
It broadened out, yeah. Language started to mean manner of expression, like bad language.
Yeah. Ah,
Right, and also a language, like we use it now, English, French, Japanese.
got it. And I think you mentioned an old dictionary definition from the Century Dictionary.
Yeah, 1897. It's quite detailed. They called a language, hang on, let me get the wording right.
Sure.
Okay, the whole body of uttered signs employed and understood by a given community as expressions of its thoughts.
Understood by a given community. There's that community link again.
Exactly. It goes on.
Yep.
The aggregate of words and of methods of their combination into sentences used in a community for communication and record and for carrying on the processes of thought.
Wow. That covers a lot. Shared signs, community, structure, communication, records, even thinking. Pretty comprehensive for back then.
It really is. And there's another point about language unity, how a language kind of holds together.
Yeah.
A linguist, Dirk Bootkin, mentioned that a language stays unified as long as it can, sort of, undergo common changes together, even if you have dialects that sound quite different.
Okay, so as long as the underlying system is evolving in a connected way, even with variations, it's still considered one language. That helps frame things. All right, so that's language. Now let's wade into the potentially murkier waters of fluency. This one feels slippery.
It can be, yeah. Where do we start? Maybe just the basic dictionary definition.
Good plan. What does Merriam-Webster say?
Okay, so Merriam-Webster defines fluency first as simply the quality or state of being fluent.
Right, helpful.
Yeah. But then specifically for language, it says, capable of using a language easily and accurately.
Easily and accurately. Okay, sounds straightforward enough on the surface.
But yeah, what does easily mean? What counts as accurate? It gets subjective fast, Depends so much on the situation who you're talking to.
Totally. And Merriam-Webster gives examples, right? How does it show fluency being used?
It does. Some are direct language ones, like she speaks with great fluency.
Okay, standard.
Or an academic context. Students must demonstrate fluency in a foreign language to earn a degree.
Right, makes sense.
But then it branches out. It talks about a dancer's fluency and grace.
Okay, so movement can be fluent.
Yeah, or a pianist's speed and fluency.
So it's not just words, it's about smoothness, ease, a lack of, friction in performing something, this idea of flow.
Exactly that. Flow seems key. And some more recent examples really push this. The conversation talked about reading fluency with complex words.
Reading fluency.
And Forbes.com mentioned, get this, technical platform fluency.
Technical platform fluency, like using software or something?
Sounds like it. Being comfortable and skilled with the tech system.
Wow. Okay, so the core idea is really about being proficient and comfortable, not just speaking.
Seems like it. The Atlantic mentioned expressive fluency in criticism. And the Orange County Register noted someone's fluency in several languages helped their music interpretation.
Interesting how it links back to other skills. So this idea of smooth, competent, almost effortless action runs through it.
Yeah, that seems to be the common thread.
Okay, so let's zoom back in specifically on language fluency. We looked at what actual language learners are saying, right, over on Reddit.
Yeah, the language learning subreddit. Always interesting discussions there. And when they talked about defining fluency, well, lots of different ideas came up.
I bet. What kind of definitions were floating around?
Well, you had some setting the bar really high, like speaking almost like a native, super comfortable on any topic, no foreign accent.
Wow, okay. That's ambitious for most people.
Definitely. Then others were more functional, like being able to have a basic conversation on most everyday things, understand TV shows or news reasonably well.
More achievable, maybe.
And then there was a kind of survival definition.
Yeah.
Just being able to get by in the language without having to switch back to your native tongue all the time.
Right, handling daily life. Those are really different levels. That first one, near native on everything, seems almost like an endpoint rather than a stage.
And that's exactly what many people on there were saying. They really emphasize that fluency isn't like an on-off switch. It's not binary. It's super contextual. Someone could be totally fluent talking about, say, software engineering at work.
Right, their specialized field.
But then feel completely lost trying to follow rapid-fire gossip at a party.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like that in my native language sometimes.
Exactly. So that context is huge. And another key thing mentioned was being able to actually express your own thoughts and feelings. Not just repeating phrases, but really communicating you.
That feels important, getting your personality across.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was a point about knowing specialized words versus being generally fluent. How did that come up?
Yeah, that's a really crucial distinction people made.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so just because, say, I can't explain quantum physics in detail in English, does that mean I'm not fluent in English?
Well, no, of course not. I can't explain quantum physics either.
Right. Or, maybe you don't know the specific English word for every single type of tool in a toolbox. Doesn't mean you lack fluency.
So it's about general ability, not having encyclopedic vocabulary for every possible niche.
Exactly. Your language use is tailored to different domains, different needs. You can be highly fluent without being a walking dictionary of specialized terms.